She was gonna come to work on Monday. And her husband's like, no. She's like, what's wrong with her?
Yeah, she's.
And she said she's gonna come first.
I believe that our
If
instructor.
it makes sense.
Oh, yellow, green,
But I think
and
because it's different, she got her.
yellow,
Come
green,
in rather than like
yellow, green, and
handout
blue
based.
I believe that our instruction. We believe that our instructional coach will provide technical resources to support people. Okay.
Great.
Next thing. Absolutely.
No. You just wanna see this.
Right here.
I actually can't see it from there.
All right.
I have
You get
them
your
in my
readers.
eyes.
You can get your readers. All right. You get this one. Outbreak, operations, and algebraic. Yellow.
Oh, sorry. We're not on.
Yellow, blue. So yellow.
10, 25, 35.
That's the wrong. That's the. Yes.
Oh. 12 plus 25 plus 62 is 87.
Boom. Did you visualize the place value chart?
Right, I'm in operations.
Yeah.
Mine was like 300. Yeah.
No, we're down. We're up. 10, 32,
82.
86.
First measurement, 22 plus 13 plus 43.
88.
Wow.
88. 78.
Well,
Oh.
that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait, yeah. It's measurement.
Okay. 12 plus 37.
You got the point.
Please don't.
Three people. 49, 28, 77. We didn't get to
Oh yeah, that
geometry
makes
yet.
sense. But if this probably would be so much higher now.
We did not get to geometry. We did not get to geometry. Yeah. What do you get? I got
Exactly. I understand. Understand decimal notation, E fraction.
That's like,
I was like, I'm grateful for like.
I got REI.
oh, that's a
That's
really
good.
good one.
I got a target, bro. And I got another one.
I think when we did it, now they don't repeat it.
Represent and interpret data.
Alright, we did not get to. Dude,
And their arm is like,
dude, I remember you texting me a picture of the Christmas song.
5 is
and they gave me like amazing
6
like
is
videos for teacher appreciation for each kid, like recorded them. It was, they were very interesting.
That was fifth.
Yeah, I also think that's a difference. Fifth grade, they just get more.
But yeah, I remember you texting us a picture of it. I didn't get it. I got like a story.
Was that the year John in the gym?
I was feeling her, I like it. I think I'm the only one using it, so it's really embarrassing.
Dude, you're doing a great job.
To who? Not to any of us.
I didn't eat anything for lunch.
Did I say, this is what I said, we did not get to geometry and measurement data before.
Well, we didn't get to this. There's measurement data.
Module includes before winter math testing shows that our yeah, that's another strong Alright, next thing. What do next year's teachers need to know about math action problems this year? Students overall,
I think to begin with,
not
so T is 16 words, right? And then my class was 10.
Yeah, imagine.
I mean, two different groups, but like mine were a little closer than that, but.
Word problem.
Oh, wait.
10%.
77?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Challenge.
Then I've got that in. Yep, yep.
And so what is that?
What if we say multi-set? I feel like
So that's
multi-set
literary.
So literary, you were on, right? Between
72.
72,
Our students are overall very strong in math, but have not been exposed to measuring data. Additionally, multi-set competitions and challenges for both in group. And then I want to include something about that. We're gonna get to it, but.
So 70. 70. Okay, so.
They also had a limited. Oh my god. Limited.
All right, I'm gonna do kind of a time check. So that's about 30 minutes, and we have a few groups that are finished. How much more time do we need? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
Yeah, we never.
5, 2 minutes? Okay, so let's do 5 more minutes, and then we'll bring it back together for a discussion.
For everything Hannah has done for me in my life, I think I owe her a big
She's done.
I'm trying to finish my move to your house for a It's like past her mouth.
World language. This morning I was like, bumped over it.
Almost a little less than a month.
But I can do it. I mean, and I'm very flexible,
I mean, thankfully, I'm going to stay with my friends, so I don't have to pay for hotels or anything.
You put it in it.
But it's shorter.
But if they're asking us to
And then we like,
Yeah. The kids are all like, you want station and pleasure.
because my friend that I was roommates with. And also my dad's staying in this for 2 months. But he got it like admitted to the program, but he doesn't know the dates. So I'm not gonna sit here and wait. Because technically so the ideal thing was like I'll go to Australia and then me and my friend will go meet my family in Bali. We'll stay with them in a resort and then like but there's like a direct flight from LA to Australia. But if we're gonna do Bali, I think it's more jumps.
Oh, that's good.
Did you have to answer that one?
your next year's teachers need to know about the these are for learning experiences that we've done
Mine averaged from like 15 to 50.
Your races. $500.
I think the half marathon that I did was $100. It feels like free money to get
About 2 more minutes to finish up.
Actually, it was funny. She was taking photographs of us. But I think before, it was just like a side gig.
He stopped coming to school on the bike.
Yeah, I saw him in summer school. Yeah, see, I came to your room and I said, there's been lots of people said.
Do we, really quick, we got like, you want to just like really fast?
Yeah, for us,
Okay, so do you want me to reach out to them? Okay, you're on board because you just connected to it and we got other. And then we have to give you our class list. That's fine. I'll just, when we ask what you let us know if you're willing to do that. Will you be on the city? Okay. And you know what? You take it. Well, that's crazy. I think she helped me last year, so she must have. Yeah, but it's fresh in her memory.
in association, she's saying yes.
All right, I'm gonna call time. It seems that most of you are done. If you are not done, you will have some time at the end to finish up if you need to. But we are going to bring it back together and then have our overview discussion. Okay, while we're having our overview discussion, I'm going to take some notes. And again, this is gonna go back to the instructional coaches. So we're holding a whole document together to answer some of these questions. We will not be going through all of these, but we will be doing just, I like the first one and the third one. If there's one that you all are really passionate about, we can absolutely talk about those as well. And I am just gonna take some notes. So the first one, and you can just, you know, who have had me before, you can just popcorn it out, right? And you can just kind of tell me all the different pieces that you think. So we're gonna start with this first question, which is, share your observations and key takeaways from the ELA and math forms. So this is for the form specifically. Anyone have anything to add? And just specify if it's ELA or if it's math. They're good? They're okay? Are they too long?
I wish for math that like, I know that they talk about it, like in articulation, but like getting to module 2 quicker, like it's 2 years in a row where we skip module 2, and then module 3 is just so much more difficult because everything's in measurement data. So I think like prioritizing, like, can we please just do module 2 like right off the bat? It's a week, you know? That's like the one thing we noticed from our data.
Love it. Great feedback. While we're on that same path, we can totally divert from the form question and then move into math and the key takeaways that you found just in general. I think that might be a little bit broader.
Megan, did you say key takeaways
Yeah.
from that?
Yeah.
I mean, the vocabulary is always interesting because our vocabulary instruction compared to the other two it's just not as strong. A lot of it can just be from them being avid readers, but vocabulary instruction doesn't reflect the high scores that we see.
Good. And you can jump into ELA too if you want to. What else do you think?
I think when they took the map test, kids did not have fractions yet, and so number of operations on our data looked lower than the other areas, and there's such a, you know, it's a 40 lesson unit, so that probably would have been a data change if we were looking at map data now in that category.
Perfect. What else?
I think a lot of it for us came down to timing.
right? Like when you give some of the assessments, you're like, oh God, I'm gonna teach that next Tuesday. If we would have given the assessment, not when we gave it, scores would have been like dramatically different for Mastery Connect, for IAR, for map testing, for all of them.
Yeah.
We also went rogue and did module 2 right after module 1 because it just makes sense, and we chose not to listen. But it worked well, and we still got to geometry. So
Love it. We did as well, and our map data shows that that was the right choice to make.
and we also threw a lot of geometry in, like whenever we had a random like day or two here, so that they kind of had some exposure to a lot of that before IAR and before Mastery Connect, because if you wait till the end, it sometimes gets lost.
I agree that we should follow the Eureka pacing calendar and not change them.
I'm going to ELA, two things that, are in the standards themselves that are not in the curriculum are poetry and, like mythology or something like that, reference to mythology. It seems super random, but I know that I haven't taught any mythology this year. So, you know, just a kind of a misalignment of, if you're doing poetry, it's kind of like ad hoc and you're doing it on your own, and, I know I didn't teach a ton of poetry this year. Other years, depending on the pacing and the timing of things, you might get to a little more of it. It's kind of teacher dependent or maybe school dependent.
I think in general with the ELA curriculum with the Lucy Calkins, you have to take it with a grain of salt because it's not entirely standards based, so there really does need to be teacher created or other resources in order to get to those other standards.
Yes.
And we did the weather unit first for the last 2 or 3 years now, because it's just easier to begin the year with like that structure of research and project than it is to do that narrative writing first.
And the writing with more of your organizers and
Yeah,
structure.
so we did a little bit more structure to start the year with the kids, and that's been super successful. We also put in our form that like we definitely use way more non-Lucy things than we use Lucy. We have really supplemented and tried to throw all of that away.
I also talked about how on the assessments, the students are able to have more success because of the way the assessments are structured with multiple choice. There's a lot more work that has to be done to show mastery on the assessments that we have for the curriculum.
And those are not Lucy assessments, they're not Lucy assessments.
Or
We use some of those old ones that back in the day, like Sarah, Marion, and I wrote with, I don't know, a long time ago. But we use those and line them up with our standards instead of doing those other ones that we have seen our kids. Yeah, we just keep seeing our kids struggle and not learn from, so we're not wasting time if it's not helping our students.
Or it's not as robust, like you're not giving all the standards.
Yeah, and yes.
Well, and then just one last adding on, if our school, the school improvement plan is based on IAR, it's the whole district. We've been using, test items and stuff from the old IAR bank a lot for formatives and so forth, and just building that in for familiarity.
And, math and ELA?
Yeah, math,
Math.
yeah, I look at the percentage of, there's a doc, I can find it. They give you the percentage of like how many measurement and data questions and how many geometry, and there's a huge amount of measurement and data and geometry questions that they get on IAR, which is why we did module 2, and module 4. I combined them together, after module 1, because it's so heavy and if our data is gonna be pulled from that, then they need to be exposed to that.
Is it something you could share easily with 12th grade, or
Yeah.
is it one document?
The doc with the percentages, yes, I have to dig it up and find it, but I will do that, yeah.
I did module 2 and then parts of 7 together, just kind of getting in the act, like conversion of measurement units. And so, that was pretty successful for us. And it was also like right after Model 3, so we had that little bit of time before we went on winter break. So it was perfect and how it just fit in.
Any other specifics on what you noticed or key takeaways for ELA or math?
Just from a form perspective, it kind of seemed a little bit muddled in terms of what they were asking, like, did you get to it and were they successful? Kind of seems like two separate things, although I don't really wanna answer a form that's like twice as long, to be honest.
So you said muddled for what you taught and what students got.
Yeah, there's like two pieces to each question, and I say that, but again, I also say I wanna answer a form that's longer.
Well, there's also like more than one skill sometimes in a standard where like, it's hard to say, like, we did really well on this part, but not on this part, so we had to kind of like pick something in the middle.
And my fourth grade, we're not, often addressing like RL3 and RL4 whole group. That's more the children who need that extra phonics work and so forth. That's more small group, at least with us. I don't know about you guys. Yeah. No, it's RF, I mean.
RF.
Yeah,
And RF or.
yeah.
Anything else for this? Okay, last question that we're gonna just dive into is this last one. So, with the action steps to enhance horizontal articulation, ELA and math moving forward, does anyone have any suggestions on how this process could go differently? Or if you would change anything about this process of horizontal articulation / vertical articulation that you're doing in the schools?
I can speak for us because we're piloting 3 new ones next year, so I don't know how this process will go and what we'll cover because we're doing 3 different curriculums, so I don't know how we'll answer the questions.
Great perspective.
We're also piloting, and I have the same question.
Triple the questions.
Yes. All day event. Yeah, go ahead, George.
This is a general question. Just curious, did your schools get to decimals this year?
Yes.
Did you teach decimals?
Yeah, I'm about to get there.
Or they're probably up until in Longfellow, but this is literally the first.
But last year we struggled,
Same.
and we are in a
For us.
different, we arranged the modules differently this year. That's the only reason that we all completed decimals.
Yeah.
So.
Because 5th grade
One of our
starts with
teams
decimals,
yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
huge. Like as somebody who has a 5th grader right now, currently, like if they don't,
I taught fifth grade for 9 years, and I was like, we're
if
getting
they don't have the
decimals
decimal
because-
basics, yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta, you
it's
have to
rough.
cover that.
I know, yeah.
Anything else about the process? And again, this will probably change as we are moving into pilots and so forth as well. If we have any introverts that want to add or contribute to this conversation, please email me. I would be one of them. So please email me if you do have any other inputs that you want me to add to this note taker to bring back to the team. Please feel free to do that. So for next steps, this is kind of just what it's going to look like. So you're going to see that starting tomorrow, we're doing that 5th/6th grade vertical articulation, so that doesn't really affect you all too much, I don't think. And then in the week of May 13th through the 17th, you will be doing this also at the BLT meeting. So you're going to have conversations with your BLT to bring this back to them and also go through some of this stuff. And then May 20th through the 24th, you will also see some of this at the PLC meeting level. And then the week of May 28th through the 31st, at district office, the instructional coaches and the core instruction team will be going through all this data and creating a different sequence and pacing calendar for the next school year with alignment to IAR and school level recommendations. Okay? All right. So that is it. So I just appreciate you all so incredibly much. Have a wonderful wonderful summer if I don't see you. Thank you for your time and dedication. Please take the candy. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. If you need more time, please stay around. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. Enjoy the weather.
Could we ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
So, if the ultimate goal here is for them to understand how to revise the basic calculus, and if the data is gathered from the scoring, does this necessarily mean that this brings about a revised of the
It should be what most people do.
I want to also add, like, that we provide as less restrictive.
Right, you know, so it's like we have to definitely. For sure. Show and reflect. That's great feedback. I keep saying that, you know, because I think also like with all these changes and stuff, this is the time to really
Well, I hate to as well to think of someone spinning their wheel.
Yes.
Spending so much time something to death trying to make these basic calculus that honestly teachers are really, and we're not trying to be rebellious. But we are working backwards from what we know we have to do, which is AR. And then we're trying to split it how we can. Which makes sense. So why spin your, like, I'd rather have them do, these are the must-dos before.
Right, and you are already doing the work, you know, so it's like, let's just, no, I totally agree with you. I'm an ass. Thank you. Good information. Thank you all so much.
And we don't know like this.
No, you don't. No. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's one of those like, oh, oops. People's take home and then things, and then they also like different rules. Yeah. Because they're like, oh, I thought we couldn't do all that, and then other kids are just like,
See you guys next week. Bye, Annie. Bye.